LadyLucidity ASMR. Hello there, my lovelies, and welcome to another painting video. So today you'll notice that I have already prepped my background canvas so we can get straight into creating. So today I'm using two colours, just gold and blue, and I'll be using the Pebeo Studio Acrylics, which have this beautiful metallic sheen to them, as you can see. I cannot praise Pebeo enough. Their stuff is absolutely gorgeous. I also have my Deco Art metallics in dark blue, so you'll see the top of the cap. It's been lovingly used a lot, but it gives a nice deep colour. Okay, so here is my iridescent gold, and in 350 and number 30 in the opaque turquoise. Okay, so I've used the gold as a border for my painting, and if we get time I might use some of my Arteza gold glitter, but we'll see. So I have my masking tape around the edge so it doesn't bleed into the outside. Okay, and just for a bit of difference today, to add some texture, I'm going to be using my Acrylics Neat with my palette tool. So it's been quite a few years since I used my palette knives for doing painting. It's something that I used to do a lot in college and I really miss doing, so I thought I'd show you guys this technique that I do. I'm basically just gliding the paint very lightly over the surface, not pressing too hard, just dragging the paint with it, and you'll see it gives this beautiful like mix of the two different blue tones. I'm going for an underwater sort of effect, so like bubbles and waves and stuff like that. So it's really, really beautiful, especially with metallic paints. They work really well with this technique. So you'll notice when I'm dragging the paint down, I'm leaving some gaps. I don't want it all one solid colour. Today's painting is about texture, so I'm just lightly dragging it down, giving this beautiful mix of colours and shades. And then I'm just going to scrape the excess up the top. So the reason I haven't done a live sound for this video is because the scraping noise from the tool itself can be quite loud and abrasive, so I thought I would save everybody's delicate ears from the noise. Okay, so again, just load up my palette and drag down. So already you can see it has this really beautiful texture and like pattern to it. I will definitely be doing more of these kind of paintings in the future because it's just so easy and fun to do, and you can make some really interesting pieces just by doing this. Okay, so I'm just going to fill the edges in a little bit, just to give it some interest, and because we have our masking tape at the side, it doesn't matter if we go over, so there we go. these little bits up here look like bubbles or ripples in water. Just some really interesting shapes you can get. Okay, so I'm just going to cover the rest of this as we go down. Okay, now if you want to make it a little bit more different, then you can obviously paint or scrape in different directions to create different texture. You could even do what I'm doing here and use two colours in one direction and then let it dry and put another two different colours over the top. That's really interesting to do. I would love to try and use this technique with maybe a rainbow, so that would be quite cool if I had several palette knives with different colours on. What do you guys think? Do you think a rainbow painting would be nice to do? Okay, so just drag this down here. I really like the light turquoise against the dark blue backdrop. I like the contrast. I think it's really beautiful. Okay. So just drag down and drag down. Okay. Down, down, down. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around now. We'll keep in the same direction. I just want to work a bit more on this end here. I don't want to lean too far over it, so it's quite a big canvas piece, so a bit of manoeuvrability is in order. A really cute idea for this is if you have a blue themed bathroom. What I've done in the past is done this technique with 3 small square canvases, and I've painted each one just like this and then hung them up in my bathroom, and they're really nice as a simple art piece, something a bit abstract. We will be adding some gold over the top of this, so it's going to be a little bit different to this in the end, but you'll see. Okay. So now I'm just going over areas and smoothing out the ends of the streaks, and this is just basically to blend them. Okay. So you can see the colours blending together. So just pull the paint down. Okay, just load it up a bit more. Don't want to overdo it. There we go. And just drag down again. Go. So they kind of remind me of like icicles or stalactites. Finish off this little corner here. Make sure it's covered. Okay. And this is where my inner perfectionist comes in, because I go back to my paintings and go, something's missing. So I will just add little bits in now and then. So once this is dry, I'm going to then add my gold over the top, but I want to make sure that this is going to be completely dry before adding my next layer, otherwise the gold will bleed with the blue and I want the gold to really pop and stand out. So I'm just going to leave it to dry for about sort of 10-15 minutes outside, and then we can eventually take the paper off. Okay, so this is a little bit later on. It's sort of touch dry, and you'll notice the blue has darkened slightly. So I'm just going to grab my little pencils and paintbrushes, I should say. Okay, and next we're going to move on to our gold. Now I'm going to be working in a spiral design, so I'm going to roughly find the centre of where I want to go, so kind of here I think, and this is the beautiful Pebeo gold, and I'm just going to put a dot just there like that, and this is going to be my guiding dot. Okay, so now I can work around it, so just dot, 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 just in that spiral, dot, 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 dot. Okay, so you can see I'm just working loosely around the inner spiral there, okay, and this will be my grid for what I'm working to, and you'll see in a moment, once we start to build it up, hopefully it will make more sense. Okay, so let's zoom you guys in so you can see what I'm working on, and we're going to start just here with this little guy. Okay, so if you guys are looking for a really good quality gold paint, I would definitely suggest this Pebeo one. I've used it on all sorts of materials, paper, wood, glass, whatever you can think of. I've pretty much painted with it on, and it's a really good quality coverage, so you don't have to keep going back with multiple layers like some metallic paints. Okay, you'll see here that I'm drawing some wee little fishies. We're going to have a school of little goldfish, I guess you could say. Okay, I want to keep it very minimal and simplistic. I'm not putting too much detail in these guys. It's more about the composition than the detail of the fish. So just give them very simple little tails, a couple of fins, just very small and delicate. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to work around in my little spiral and adding some more as we go. Okay. So let's work on this little one here, and you'll notice I'm painting in the direction of where the spiral goes. So I want it to look like they're almost swimming in formation. Okay. Just give this guy a little fin. Being very careful not to lean my hand on the ones I've just painted. Unfortunately, the perils of being left-handed means that sometimes you smudge your work. It happens. Okay, just give them a little flick, flick. There we go. Okay, so working around. So, as you can see, I've added quite a few little fishies to my piece. And now I'm just going back in with my gold just to give them a little bit more depth. Add some fins, make them stand out a little bit more. Okay, so I'm really happy with how this looks. And you can see the metallic sheen it has to it, which is going to be really nice when the light hits it. So now I'm just going to remove my tape, so you'll see my nice gold border that we had around the edge. Now you'll notice some has had a little bit of seepage through, and that's okay because we can touch up the edges with my gold paint, but for the most part I think it looks pretty neat, really nice. Just might have to touch up that bottom corner a little bit, but overall I think it looks really nice. So I'm just going to work on these little bits here, but apart from that it's pretty much done. I'm just going to add my finishing touch. So I'm going to add a tiny bit of glitter to some of my fishies. Give them a little bit of sparkle, so while they're still touch sort of semi-damp, I'm just going to add a little sprinkling of glitter here and there. Extra goldfish. Okay, so just tap 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 tap. Tap 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 tap. Okay, there we go. So just put that to one side. Okay, so I'm going to let my little fishies dry a little bit. Make sure the gold adheres to the glitter, I should say, adheres to the gold. Okay. So this is an extra step that I don't always do on my paintings, but today I think I'm going to add some little bubbles. Just some tiny cute little bubbles, just here and there. Again, it adds a nice sort of texture pattern to it, and also because it's a painting of little fishies, so why not have some little fishy bubbles? So just small dots of the turquoise, just here and there, just dot 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 dot. I think it brings a bit of interest to the piece as well. Okay, dot 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 dot. Okay. Alright, so now our piece is complete. I'm going to let it dry and then I will touch up the border here and it will be ready to hang. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this simple painting video, and as always I will see you guys in my next video.